Hello again, welcome to Verbling. My name is Hamish, and in this hour, in fact in these next 2 hours in Verbling, we're going to take a good look at the speaking section of the IELTS exam. In the first hour, we're going to look at part 1 questions about your daily routine, and these are questions that are quite common, not guaranteed, but are quite common to come up when the examiner is asking you questions just in that first part of the speaking section, that part that takes maybe 4 or 5 minutes when you're really just almost acting as a warm-up, in fact. So some very, very everyday questions. And so one of the questions they might well ask is, well, tell me about a typical day. Tell me about what you usually do. And that could be about a weekday, or it could be about the weekend. And that's an opportunity for you to give a good description of the things that you usually do during those days, what your routine is like. And of course we're going to use the present simple when we describe things that we do on a regular basis, like I get up and I brush my teeth and then I go to work, or I take the bus, or I drive my car and it takes this amount of time and I go to this place for lunch, things like that. So we're going to keep it pretty much present simple for that description. So if you want to practice those questions with me, come on in and join me in class, and we're going to do that in this hour. In the next hour, we are going to stay here on Verbling and continue with IELTS practice. But in the second hour, we're going to look at some Part 2 questions, and in particular, we're going to look at Part 2 questions related to important events in your life, and that could be all important events from your past, of course. It could be something that happened to you, it could be a difficult decision, or it could be a problem that you helped a friend or a colleague out with, something that's a big deal, something that we can talk about, the circumstances, what happened, what we did, what was the outcome, are we happy with what happened, and of course, would we do it again? Would we do it again the same way? Would we help someone else out the same way? Would we make the same kind of decision? So interesting questions to answer in that second part. But yes, let's focus on daily routine. Let's focus on part 1 in this hour. And let me say hello first of all to Natalia. Hello, Natalia.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. And you?
I'm pretty good. Natalia, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
Where in Russia are you from?
What part of Russia?
Yeah.
Euro.
Okay. And is it springtime now where you are? Are you getting some warmer weather?
What?
How's the weather where you are?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
Okay. How's the weather? Because it's raining here, raining quite miserably with me today. How's the weather with you, Natalia?
Sunny.
Okay, well, that's good. Now, tell me, you're on Verbling with an English class. Why do you want to improve your English?
I need to improve English for my work. I work with little children, and I want to learn them, to teach them English.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, I hope we get a good practice for you today, Natalia. Welcome to class. Welcome to Verbling as well. Nice to see you. Let me say hello also to Enes. Hello, Enes.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm pretty good, because, oh yeah, it's Friday, which is good news.
Okay.
Enes, remind me, where are you from?
I'm from Turkey, Istanbul.
Excellent, welcome. Well, a good welcome to our Istanbul students today. Welcome to Verbling. Welcome to this IELTS class. Enes, tell me, are you working or are you studying at the moment?
I'm a student teacher in the university, Istanbul University, Economy Department.
Great, okay.
I'm in first year.
And how long is the course?
Uh, my department is about 5 years. 1 year about the preparatory class, which is 100% English and letters.
Wow.
4 years about my my major.
I got it. Okay. Oh, that's really cool. So when you look into the future, do you want to work in Turkey? Do you want to work in another country? What do you think?
Maybe I wanna work in Turkey, but I wanna work with international corporation maybe.
Ah, okay. Very good. Very good. Well, again, and it's great to meet you. Welcome to Verbling, and I hope we have a good class for you today. All right.
Okay.
Let me also say hello to let me say hello to Hanan. Hello, Hanan.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you today?
I'm so fine, as fine as I'm here in your class.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Well, we mentioned the weather. How's the weather with you?
Very good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I could do with some of that. It is miserable weather with me today. But that's the way it goes. Really good to see you in class, and I hope we have a good practice for you as well. Let me also say hello and welcome back as well to Selma. Hello, Selma. How are you? Oh, I can't hear you yet, Selma. Well, I know we heard you loud and clear last time, so I'm going to come back to you, Selma. Let's start the class, and I'll come back to you later on, okay? Oh, yeah. Part 1 questions in the IELTS exam. Any of these questions for Part 1, if we practice these everyday questions, good practice for the IELTS exam, good practice really for any English competency exam that requires us to demonstrate good communicative abilities, okay? But the questions in Part 1 are so everyday, so normal, really. Not abstract, just questions about us, about our daily lives, about our habits, our routines, family, hobbies, favorite TV show, where we like to go to eat, all those things. These questions are so ordinary, so normal, so natural, that it's great to practice them even if you're not taking an English exam, even if you just want to improve your confidence speaking with, well, perhaps a native English speaker, perhaps you want to make a new friend, or you're working with English-speaking customers, or colleagues, or partners, or your boss, or members of your team at work, or people at your school. So these questions are good to practice really whatever you're doing, which I think makes them interesting. And I'm always interested to hear students' answers, because we all have a unique set of answers. No one can answer these questions for us. They're all quite, well, they're personal questions. They're not rude questions. They're just questions that only we can answer. Yeah. So yes, today we want to look at daily routine, right? And as I mentioned at the top of the class, with daily routine questions, if we're being asked, well, what do we usually do? What do we do during the day on a regular basis? What are the things we expect to do each day, or at least each weekday, or each ordinary weekday? It makes sense for us to use the simple present tense to describe what we do, because we're talking about a routine, things that we expect to happen. So if I say, oh, well, my routine, my daily routine, oh, okay, well, I get up, I have a shower, I have breakfast, and things like that. So we're going to use that simple present, because when I say I have breakfast, well, I'm not having breakfast right now. Yeah, and I'm not even talking about an hour ago if I had breakfast, or an hour in the future. I mean, at a certain point each day. So when we talk about routine, when we talk about regular activities, let's use the present simple, and let's be consistent with that tense, because that's going to help those native English ears understand what you're saying. And if you are in an exam like IELTS or TOEFL or TOEIC, something like that, the examiner is going to give you credit for using the correct tense and for being consistent with your use of English tenses as well. So yeah, present simple, definitely the one that's good to use. And even the question, you know, what do you usually do? What do you do on the weekends, for example? Those will be present simple questions as well. Okay, so well, let's start off, and I want everyone to have a good chance to answer the main question in this class, which is describe your daily routine. Let me put that in the box. There it is. There's the question in the Verbling chat box. Describe your daily routine. And you'll see the question it's not a yes-no question. It's not, do you have a daily routine, right? It's a describe your daily routine. So we can't answer that and say, oh, every day is different and that's it. We're going to have to give them something. Now, of course, we all have days that are different. When we're thinking about our answer, just think of a typical day. There are going to be some things that you do at the same time, or there are things that you do on a regular basis, and you can talk about those things. Yeah. If, of course, for example, maybe the morning is always very similar for you. If the afternoon is often different, if sometimes you're working, sometimes you have time off, sometimes you're studying, well, fine. You can talk about that as well. But important to focus on the things that you do regularly, things you can count on, that you can depend on happening. So when you go to sleep the night before, you could think, oh yeah, tomorrow I'll be doing this, this, and this, especially during the week, I think, for most people. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get started with some practicing. First of all, let me go to Natalia. Hello again, Natalia.
Hello again.
Hello, hello. Well, I would like to ask you this question. And Natalia, please, for us, describe your daily routine.
My daily routines are work, and studying. I wake up around 10 a.m. Then I have breakfast, wash my face, and sit down in my room and study English. I study English till maybe 2 p.m. Then I have lunch and go to my work. I am a tutor. I have about 1 or 2 or 3 pupils every day. Then I come back home, cook dinner, have dinner. Sometimes I watch TV with my husband, but if he watches not interesting things for me, I study English again. Yes. That's all. That's all my.
Okay. Well, lots of good details there, Natalia. Thank you. Well done. I really like that. Let me think now. You mentioned that you have breakfast. What do you have for breakfast?
Cereal, snacks, cereals.
Mm-hmm. Is that cereal? So do you have milk with that cereal?
What?
Do you have milk with the cereal? Is that like a bowl of cereal like that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And what about lunch? Do you have lunch? I mean, where do you have lunch? Do you go out to a restaurant? Do you have it at home or at work? How do you do that?
I have lunch at home.
Mm-hmm.
Only at home.
Okay. And what do you usually have for lunch?
different soups or salads,
Mm-hmm.
tea.
Okay. And if it's soup, do you make that soup? Do you buy the soup?
No, I make. Sometimes I make soup. Sometimes my husband makes it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And what about dinner? What do you like to make for dinner?
Oh, we make for dinner different things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I can't describe it.
Okay, okay. And tell me, what do you watch? What do you like to watch on TV?
Comedy Club. Comedy Club
Oh, okay.
is the Russian program.
Mm-hmm. Sounds interesting. Okay, Natalia, thank you for that. So we've got some. We've definitely got some key words we can use there. And if we're answering this question, and we're talking about things, well, we know that they're pretty much happening most days. We can use usually, right? So usually on most days, it doesn't mean every single day, but usually if I think of a week of 7 days or a work week of 5 days, well, I guess usually is maybe 4 out of 5 days, for example. It's probably going to happen. We can predict that, well, maybe if we usually have lunch at home, well, that's certainly most days, yeah. We also have sometimes, of course, if usually, and I mean, and I ask this for everybody, if I'm saying usually is 4 out of 5 days, how many is sometimes? Is sometimes more than usually, or is it less than usually?
Sure, less.
Oh, okay, very good. I think so too. So it could be 2 times, 3 times out of 5, something like that. So we have some good words to describe the frequency or how much we do these things. Of course, we've also got that one, and I hear a lot. I hear 2 different ways to say that word. Sometimes we can hit that hard T sound with often. Sometimes we can forget about the T sound and just say often instead. And that's up to you, because I hear both all the time with British English and American English speakers. So whether you want to say often or often, I don't mind. I think you should be consistent with it, but there doesn't seem to me to be a hard and fast rule about how you say that word. But often or often, we can take that out. We can move that even, so that's something maybe we do. You know, almost every day. That's something we often do or often do. Okay, very nice. So we've got some words there, and of course there are going to be some things we rarely do. Yeah. But we're not going to talk about the rarely things as much when we're answering this question, because, hey, the question, yes, daily routine, describe your daily routine. So if it's a routine, again, we're using present simple, and we're going to talk as much as we can and give as much detail as we can about the things that we normally do, that we usually do, that we regularly do. Absolutely. So the things that we rarely do, not so much, but you know, maybe we can talk about that a little bit. Yeah. Let me go and say hello again to Enes.
Yes, teacher.
Enes, please describe your daily routine for me, please.
I always get up at 5 or 6 o'clock for my morning pray. Do you know, in the Muslims we have got pray 5 times in a day, and I get up 5 or 6 o'clock, and later if I go to school, I have got breakfast early, like 7 or 8 o'clock maybe. And later, if I don't have the school, I always go to sleep and have some nap. And and later I get up. I wake up 10 or 11 o'clock, and in the 12th I am preparing for my school, and I go to school with bus at 1 o'clock. My school is starting, and in the 3 o'clock we have some break for about 30 minutes, and later we are starting our class at 30:30, and our school finish in 5 o'clock. And later I'm always come back to my home. About 6 or 7 I have got some dinner. We always eat macaroni and some mix of meat and vegetable. And do you know yogurt? Yogurt. It's something like that. Milk and something milk produce.
All right, so like a yogurt then, yeah.
Yeah, yogurt.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yogurt. And we always have salad, and sometimes we have got some fruit juice, and we always use the bread. We always use the bread. We are eating so much.
It sounds fantastic. Moving on though, after dinner, then what happens?
After dinner, sometimes I'm looking to television, looking for my big computer, my Facebook, my email address, and sometimes I watch some film maybe on my computer. I don't use the television, but sometimes I use my computer for watch something. I always use internet for watch something. And later, if I got some homework, or maybe sometimes I'm studying something in maybe do you know grammar in use?
Yes, I do.
Sometimes I'm trying to study to this book, and always I am trying to go sleep at 12 o'clock at night. 12 p.m.
12 p.m.
Yes.
Is it p.m.?
Is EM? Okay, isn't it EM?
It's a.m. That's it.
AM.
Yeah. All right. Hey, that was I really like that description. Very nice. Thanks, Inez.
Thanks, teacher.
Lots of good detail there. You give a very strong. You're using the time to take us through the day, and of course, again, for those English years, that's very helpful for us to start at the beginning and end at the end. So that's a very logical way to do that. There's I want to concentrate on some pronunciation for you, because you gave me lots of details. Absolutely. Okay. So I don't need to ask you many questions about, well, what happened there or what do you do there, because you told me, and that was really good. So let's focus on the pronunciation. There's a word you used a lot, and it's a good word to use. Absolutely. So I'm encouraging everyone to use a word like this. But for the pronunciation, I put it in the chat box there. What word is that?
Later.
Yeah, and that's better. That's better when you say it just now. So we need to hit that A sound with later. Yeah.
Later. Okay.
And later. Yes. Of course, the British English will hit that T. So later. With American English, maybe that T is a little softer. Instead of later, yes. It might be later. Yeah, it's not wrong. That's just the American pronunciation. Okay. But whether we're using British or American, and with the IELTS exam, they don't care. You use whatever one you want. But if we're using British or American, very important with that word to hit the A, that lay sound. Yeah, because if it's too much like a le, it's going to be
Yes.
confusing for them. So later, very nice. Yes.
Okay.
Another word, and a word that I think very difficult for people with English as a second language to pronounce in a natural way, because the British and the Americans, we kind of say it wrong, but if we say it wrong, then everyone else has to say it wrong as well, okay? To make it sound natural. So there's another word in our chat box. How do we say that one?
Vegetables.
That would make sense, right? Because it's got, well, how many sounds? It's got, right? Vegetables. But I have to say, if you're, most of the time, if you're British or if you're American and English is your native language, vegetables, it just takes too long because we're in a hurry. So instead of vegetables, we're going to put those first two together. Vegetables.
Oh, okay. Vegetables.
One more time, vegetables.
Vegetables.
Fantastic, okay. So sometimes the spelling doesn't help with pronunciation. Sometimes the spelling is confusing, but very natural to say vegetables here in the United States or back in the UK, so good stuff. We talked about using the present simple, just keeping to that short present tense. If we start using the progressive or the continuous present tense, that starts to sound like we're doing something right now. And as you were mostly consistent most of the time. You were very good about using the present simple.
Can you describe what does consistent mean?
Consistent is, well, you can describe it if you want. The consistent is to do something, to usually do it.
Usually do it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So someone can be consistent. It doesn't mean it's not perfect, but it means most of the time, regularly. They're doing something. Of course, we could be consistently bad as well as consistently good, so it's not automatically a positive thing. But most of the time, if someone gives you feedback about work or study and say, "Oh, you're very consistent," that would be praise. That would be a positive thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I did hear towards the end. I think you said, always I'm trying. Always I'm trying to go to sleep at midnight, at 12 a.m.
Okay.
And let's use because if it's always, then we're talking about something every night. Every night we try to go to bed. So let's use that present simple again for that one. So I always try to go to bed at midnight, and that's going to sound very natural and make really good sense for those English ears, whether it's an examiner or just someone you're talking to. It'll be much easier for them to get it. But I had some notes for you there, but I thought you answered the question in a really full and a really detailed way. Lots of interesting details. So, Ines, thank you. I think that was a really good example for everybody here. Nice one. Thanks for the answer. All right, let me carry on and say hello again to Hanan. Hanan, hello and welcome back.
Hello, teacher.
I would love for you to describe your daily routine for us, please.
Okay. So perhaps almost all my days are the same, but by the way of changement, I'll tell you. So I woke up around 7 a.m. to prepare myself to job. I'm architect, so by this way I love this field because I feel the changement and. Okay, I have lunch at at 12, or what do you say with 12 o'clock?
Perfect.
Midnight.
Oh, okay. Other one.
No, midday.
There you go.
Yes. To have lunch and to relax, and I'll return my job till 4 p.m. So when I'm at home, I'll relax. I have milk, and I'm not interested in TV. So always between my computer and my books, my studies. So by this way, I carry on my studies, and at the same time, I work in my office. Okay. So it's not a routine. I feel well now when I do all these actions. So it's by habit. I feel well, and if something is missed, I will be confused.
Me too.
So
Yeah.
yes, it's like a structure of myself. By the way, of weekend, I practice tennis. So this is to exit from routine or from job or being tired. Other way, I hate to exit a lot or to go on the walk a lot. So I like relaxing, reading books to improve my languages, my structures of languages, especially English. I'm interested in English because I need it, or I'll need it in my job when I recruit in new company. Why not? Because companies here of architecture or constructions works with other England and Japanese and other and for pleasure. By this way, my English is pleasure for me. Yes.
Hey, Hannah, let me stop you there for a minute. I think if you mentioned the importance of having a structure, of having a routine. Do you when you think about other people you know, other architects, you
Yes.
know, are they the same as you? Do they like a routine or a structure as well? Do you think it's something about your character or personality that makes you want to have things in order?
By this way, all architects don't suffer from routine. I know, because our job is between the office and the seat. So to check project while it's done, it's funny. I think I see that's very to exit from I don't know, because it's bored to be all the time in a local closed. Yes, and it's better to check your job from paper to concrete it, to realize it. So both of inside and outside is belong our job. So we don't suffer from routine.
Interesting. I was I think of some architects, and yes, it's an interesting personality I think you need for a job like that, because yes, you need the attention to detail, but also you need the vision as well, the creativity to improve and to see where new things can happen and where changes can happen. So it's an interesting business. And you mentioned you're playing tennis. So who do you play tennis with?
Sorry?
You said at the weekend that you played tennis?
Yes, today and tomorrow. Because our weekend is today and tomorrow at 4.
Sure. Yeah. And who do you play? Who do you play with?
What?
Helen, did you say you played tennis at the weekend?
Yes.
All right. So who do you? I'm guessing you don't play by yourself. So who do you play with? Who's your tennis partner?
With other who do this entertainment because we practice together. Yes, boys. After that, we are girls. You know, tennis is girls alone and boys alone, not mixed.
Okay. And do you do other things with the girls, the friends you play tennis with? Do you go and have dinner? Do you go and see them at other times, or are they just tennis friends?
Yes, just tennis friends because I have two friends. One is my neighbor and my and my friends since my childhood.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she study marketing, and other in my field is architect like me, but we don't work together. So sometimes we exit together and
Okay.
exchange our news and something like this.
Okay. Well, Hannah, thank you for that practice. Thank you for your answers, first of all. And again, you gave me some interesting details. And I think the great thing about a question like this, about our daily routine, it can often feel quite mundane, very ordinary for us. But I think it's always going to be interesting for someone else to hear about what we do. So let's not be shy about giving all those details about, you know, when we get up, when we have a shower, when we have lunch, because this is new information for anyone else, because they don't know what we do at certain times, and they don't know probably about our preferences and where we do things, where we have lunch, and what kind of sports or entertainments we like to do in the evening if we have a chance to relax and rest before we go to bed. So we can really talk about all kinds of things during the day that might be kind of boring for us because we do it all the time, but it's not going to be boring for the listeners. So there's plenty of details we can give, and I liked your answer, Hanan. Thank you for that. Now let me see if I can hear Selma now. Selma, are you there?
Yes,
Selma?
sure.
All right. Good to hear you. Now I couldn't hear you before. So how are you today?
Well, I'm doing fine, thank you.
I'm glad. Are you ready to practice with us?
Yes, for sure.
Excellent. Selma, of course, the same question. Describe your daily routine, please.
My daily routine. Okay. So, at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. the cell phone rings. Of course, I don't. Of course, I don't wake up at 6 a.m. I usually switch off the first alarm until because I really appreciate the second and the third alarm. Yes, when I wake up, I always wake up with different haircuts, so I need to brush. I need to brush my hair, and of course wash my face and brush my teeth. Then I go to university. I don't take breakfast at home because we always meet 40 minutes before the class begins, so that we can eat the breakfast. I mean, I can eat the breakfast with my friends. So when we eat the breakfast, everyone of us go to his class. I always have maybe 2 to 3 classes per a day because because I don't like to spend a lot of time at university. And then when I finish up my classes, I go with my friends to do some trips maybe. We have some countrysides which are not that far, so we go there and we enjoy our time because this is the last year of the university, so we are doing our best to enjoy. Then after that I come back home always late, and I'm always fighting with my parents because of the time. And then when I finish my fighting, we just start dinner. And then I sometimes I go to bed, sometimes I join some virtual clubs so we can chat a little bit. Then Yes, then I go I go to bed.
All right. Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for the answer, Selma. The very first thing you talk about is that cell phone ringing and waking you up at 6 o'clock. When we, of course, I know with all these phones, we have an option when the alarm goes off to, you know, make it come back a few minutes later. What do we call that in English? If you know, we're not switching the alarm off. We're asking it. The snooze. Okay, exactly. So we can talk about. Let me put that in there. We can talk about hitting the snooze button. Yeah. There we go. And that can be a way for us to a very common way, and a lot of people will understand that. You know, I think there are some people who jump out of bed in the morning. I think most of those people are 3 years old. So most adults are not quite as good at jumping out of bed in the morning, and it's quite tempting for us to hit that snooze button a couple of times. I understand how that goes. I recommend getting some cats, by the way, because that will really help you get up in the morning, because they don't like to sleep in, cats. What else have we got? Oh yeah, lots of good details again, and of course a unique answer. We're all going to give different answers to this question, which makes it always interesting to listen to. And I know when we hear lots of good examples here in class, we can pick up on, yes, maybe I'll talk about that. Maybe I'll talk about you know, the good things and the bad things, and the things I can do when I have some time off or some time for myself. Yeah. You mentioned taking breakfast. Is it take breakfast? Is that the verb we use?
Yes, I said take breakfast.
Mm-hmm. So I don't like take. What can we use instead of take?
Have.
We can say have. So of course we can say have, or we can say eat. Yeah.
Eat. Mm-hmm.
There we go. So have or eat. And I know take is I hear that a lot. But the translation just doesn't work. So have breakfast, eat breakfast, have lunch, eat lunch. That's absolutely fine. And here in the United States, mostly go out for breakfast or lunch or dinner, because it's very, very common here. Very regularly, people will eat out of their house. And I know some people here in America, they've never even used their kitchen because they just eat out all the time. But to say have or eat, that's going to be the I'm sure the correct form when we talk about having or eating a meal. Yeah. Now, you mentioned that when you come back in the afternoon, maybe you're fighting with your parents or having an argument or quarreling with your parents. What about at night? Because there's a word we can use if there's a time limit. You know, if we're staying at home and we need to be home by a certain time. There's a very nice word we can use to describe the time that we need to be home by. Do we know what that is? Anyone?
To be in time.
Well, or to be on time, absolutely. But we can use curfew, okay? And especially if we're at home living with our parents, and of course we're getting older, so we go out by ourselves and all those things. But our parents are still saying, well, yeah, but if you're living here, you need to be back home by a certain time, whether it's 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whatever it is. And that time, that's a curfew. So you could say to your friends, oh, I've got to go. I have a curfew. And there's curfew, and I tell you, in the United States, if you miss your curfew, that can be a lot of trouble for you if you're living at home with your parents. They hate that.
Yes.
So it's the same. It's the same. Very good. So it's a common thing. You know, when we try to agree a time, and it's never quite enough time, is it? But there we go. But they worry, you know. My goodness, they worry about these things. All right, Selma, I liked your answer. Thank you for that. I know, Hanan, you were asking about how to improve accents, things like that. I wouldn't worry too much about accent. With an exam like this, or when we're just talking in English to maybe to a native English speaker, or maybe we're talking to another person, of course, who uses English as a second language. There are many more people speaking English as a second language than there are speaking English as a native speaker. So there's a very good chance that there will be a variety of accents when we're talking English with people in a social situation, or in a business situation, or academically, of course. If we're at an English-speaking university or college, my goodness, there are going to be a lot of accents. So, to be honest, the accent isn't really the issue. The accent isn't the problem, unless the accent is so strong that it interferes with our communication. So we are all going to have an accent. I have an accent. The Americans have accents. The Australians have accents. It's not about losing the accent. It's definitely not about sounding as if you are British or Canadian or American. It's about hitting, giving that clear pronunciation in English that we need so that we can be understood. I'm seeing a lot of things that aren't English in the Verbling chat box. Just English in our chat box, please. Thank you. It's gonna, if you make me do Spanish in this class, it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be a terrible Spanish speaker. All right, but yes. So the accent, not such a big deal, unless it interferes with communication. If our accent is so thick, and by that I mean if we're not hitting some of those key English sounds, like the difference between a s and a z, or the two th sounds. If we're unable to do that, or if the b or the v, if we're finding those difficult, depending on our first language, then yeah, we need to work on those key sounds. But it's less about accent, more just about that clear pronunciation, so we can be understood. And when I think of some friends I have from Europe, some German friends, Swedish friends, Dutch friends, they sound Dutch, they sound Swedish, they sound German. That's fine. In fact, that's perfect. They should sound just as they sound, but they know the importance of hitting those English sounds. And of course, it can be hard if there's an English sound that you don't have in your first language. It can be hard to hear it. It can be hard to produce it as well. And that's really what we need to focus on as English speakers, making sure that we can hit the key sounds in English, that we can understand them, and that we can produce them as well in a clear way. So and that's hard work, and that's why we need to practice it. Why we need to practice our listening, and why we need to practice our speech as well, of course. And Verbling is a great place to do that. Yeah.
Sure.
Let me see who's on my list here. Yes. Now let me go and say hello for the first time to Manel. Hello, Manel.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very well. You look very white in your picture there. I'm worried that you might be a ghost, which is
I think I am.
which is a little bit scary, but I'll try to be okay about that. Manel, tell me. No, you look like a friendly ghost. I'm excited. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Where are you from, Manel?
I'm from Algeria.
Algeria. Welcome
Thank
to Verbling. So good to have you in my class.
Thank you.
Now we've been doing the same question in this lesson, and I want to keep going with that question. Let me put the question in the box again, because too many S's. There it is. Describe your daily routine. Okay. Yeah, I would love to hear about your daily routine, Manal. Please describe your daily routine for us.
Okay. So, if it's a school day, I wake up not always early. It depends on the time my first class starts. For example, if it starts at 8, I have to wake up at 6, I think, or 7. But if it starts at 10, I have to wake up at 8. I like to give my time myself more time to sleep because I don't sleep early at night. So I do the math before I go to sleep, and I set my alarm clock. So when it rings, I wake up. I wash my face. I brush my teeth. I pray because I don't wake up for the exact prayer time, so I have to pray when I first open my eyes after I do al-wudu and all. So and then I get ready for school. I wear my clothes and put my stuff in my bag because, for example, snack. Because I don't have breakfast at home. I don't usually have breakfast, so I just take snack like an apple or something healthy. And then I head to school. I sometimes go by train, sometimes a car. It's public transportation. When I'm in college, I go to my classes and then I try to I don't know, to find something interesting to do because if I don't, I'd be just wasting my time. And then after I finish all my classes, I go back home, and I'm usually very tired, but I have to pray the 2 prayers I miss in the afternoon. And then I have a nap. It's my night nap. That's why I sleep late at night. Because I have it from 5 p.m. to 8. And then I find myself in the middle of the night so awake and so active. And I come here to log in, maybe attend some classes. If not, I'm listening to music. I have a book on PDF. I try to read it if I feel like it. If not, I just turn the PC off and I go to make myself sleep again. That's all.
That's very, very interesting, and I love the way you started that answer because you were very clear to say, well, if it's a school day, and then you gave your description, and that's a great way to put that condition, on your answer, because of course we could say, well, if it's the weekend, or if I'm on holiday, or if it's a work day, or if, as you say, if it's a school day. Because that's a great way, and of course the listener immediately understands. All right, so if it's not a school day, well, it's going to be very different. So that's a really nice way to start that. So instead of saying, oh well, I have different routines, it's difficult to answer. No, we need to give an answer, and you do that. But at the start, it's, well, if it's a school day, like that. So that's a great way to start that. You talked about. You said I wear my clothes. What do we say of wear?
I think I get ready.
I get is a great way to hit that. So either I get ready is kind of everything. That could be brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, all that good stuff. So we just say I get dressed. Get dressed. Oops, there we go. That'll cover that covers the clothes part of that as well. So we can talk about getting ready, but that's kind of everything. If we think about I'm getting ready for school or I'm getting ready for work, that's like you say, it's putting the snack in your bag, for later, so you can go off and have that on your way or before class, things like that. So getting ready is a great thing to say, but it's very wide and can cover. Can cover a lot of things. Let's jump. Let's go all the way to the evening. Do you regularly? Do you usually have trouble sleeping at night?
Well, I have these troubles when I have nap after school. But if I don't have nap, I sleep normally.
So what's best for you? Is it better to have the nap and then be awake at some point in the night, or do you try? What do you try to do? Do you try to stay awake all day and then sleep at night? What's best, do you think?
Well, that doesn't work for me too. So I prefer to have a nap, because if I don't have a nap, my circadian watch, or like my body alarm, It's set to sleep at midnight, for example. So
Okay.
it's better to have a nap and relax than not have a nap and find myself awake for no reason at 8 or 9.
Yeah, yeah, and again, you know, when we talk about this, you know, this part of a routine, as in, you know, taking a nap or not taking a nap, again, it can be wildly different all over the world, and in North America or in the UK and a lot of these English-speaking countries, very rare for people to take a nap. I'm not, of course, it sounds like a really good idea for people to do it, but it doesn't, you know, if you go to work in a British company, for example, there would be there's no culture of this long lunch, and the same in the United States. But of course, people are probably sleeping just as much in the UK. They just do it all at night as well. So this is a good example of something where we think, well, okay, I take a nap or I sleep, and it doesn't seem very interesting. But it will be an interesting thing. Anything that we do, our personal choices, our habits, and the things that we do because of the culture around us and where we're from and the country we're in and where we grew up. It's interesting. It's going to be unique, or maybe we'll have something in common with the speaker, or something very different. It's interesting. Now, my last question for you, Manal, you mentioned the things you do if you're awake in the night, and maybe that's verbally. What if you want to get back to sleep? What's the best thing for you to do if you're thinking, oh, I really need to get to sleep? I mean, is it reading something, or what's the best thing for you to do?
Yeah, well, I take my handouts from my lessons handouts for the next day. I read them, so I just read them until I feel sleepy, turn off the lights, and try to sleep again. Okay,
and that sounds like a good plan. I know if it can be very difficult if we look at a computer screen in the middle of the night. That's quite hard to switch off from after that. Hey, I liked a lot of your answer, Manal. I thought you gave a lot of fluent and fluid speech, well-connected speech when you were giving your answer. So, hey, thank you for that.
Thank you, teacher.
I wanted to go to Arsin, but he's telling me that Arsin is telling me that the sound isn't working. So we're going to stop right there for this class. Let me tell you though, we're going to continue in the second hour. I'm going to create another hangout, and we're going to look at some quite different questions. These were this question, describe your daily routine. That's a question you might get in part 1 of the IELTS exam. In the second hour, when I create that second hangout in about 60 seconds time, if you join me, we're going to look at some part 2 questions, maybe 2 or 3 different part 2 questions, but they are all going to be about important events in your past. So, for example, maybe an important choice you had to make, or a problem, an obstacle you had to overcome in your life. And we're going to look at the structure of that part 2 question, how to answer a question in part 2 of the IELTS exam. And also, I hope we're going to get some really nice examples of some part 2 answers, because again, these questions, these types of questions, only you can give the answer, because it happened to you. It's about your feelings, your thoughts, and we're all unique. We all have different things that we go through, so I'm looking forward to that. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody here. Thanks for joining me in class. Thank you for your great answers. Really interesting for me to hear those. I hope we all took some good examples with our listening, and of course with our speaking as well today. So thank you very much, everybody. Please follow me on Verbling and on Facebook as well. And I'll let you know when and which classes I'm doing each week on Verbling as well. So thank you for now. Maybe I'll see you in the next hour, but thanks very much. I'll see you soon.